Anxious moments here for Greece. Ukraine probing, not far away, looking for a barge over. Getting there in big numbers. Greece struggling to hold them out, and they score from dummy half. Too easy. Way too easy. And Ukraine are back in front. 10 plays 6, and a sitter coming up from bang in front.
Definitely see that one coming across. Marcus was standing up a bit upright, mate, but it's been constant pressure from Ukraine. They're testing the Greek defence out constantly, and Georgie wouldn't be happy with that. The last bloke you want to score on the try line is the hooker.
Leo Epifanio referring to Georgie as Steve Georgalis, who, of course, in his own right has made an outstanding contribution to International Rugby League through his country, Greece. And another discussion there involving Nick Moujos, the Greek captain, and the referee. Scorbatch lines up what is a very straightforward shot at goal. And speaking of the Greek coach, Leo, you and him go way back.
Yeah, well, Georgie's an old West player as well. Played a lot of first grade at West Makeover. We also coached. I was had the Jersey flag. He had the New South Wales Cup in the 2004, about 2008. So we're pretty good guys. Yes, good bloke. Good bloke.
And without getting bogged down on this, I think it's important that we talk about this. The diaspora, the Italian and Greek diaspora, when it comes to rugby league in the great southern land, collectively, they've made a massive contribution to what we call the greatest game of all.
Yeah, I think, are you saying the Italian and Greek contribution to rugby league? I think, there has been more than just on the field. They just kicked off and the Ukraine's let it go roll dead, which is a good thing. And what's the old story, Costo? After you score, what a good lead. Anyway, Greece will be getting the ball back. But yeah, the Italians and Greeks have done a great job. It's a great play. Some of the greatest, Teddy and Vinicello's, Johnny Scandalis, who's still with West Tigers. So, mate, I'm proud of that we've done that.
And one name who comes to mind, the great George Paponis at Canterbury Bankstown, captain of Australia. What a story that was.
Yeah, a bit before my time, but I don't know, yeah, I think that was probably the start of a lot of it. Doctor and Greek doctor, in those days, it was pretty special. So probably, I don't know, sparked a lot of interest from others, to want to play the game. But yeah, the Italians and the Greeks have, and other cultures as well, obviously, but we've done a good job.
Back to the action. It's another penalty here to Greece. And the Greeks, they don't need a doctor in George Paponis. They need points. I'm not sure if Dr. George is watching, but a big shout out to the Greek diaspora right around the world, but particularly in places like Sydney, where very much the Greek community has been involved with rugby league for a very long time, alongside the Italian rugby league community. Oh my goodness! That could have gone very pear-shaped there for all concerned, particularly the ball carrier. It comes across this left side. Markopoulos looking to set it up here for Greece. They trail by 6. Magoulias, the ball player, the old stager. Well, the ball's been ripped out and it's a 2-on-1, says the man in charge. You can't do that. Well, Ukraine thought they were entitled to strip it, but the referee, Enzo Perez, says no. Magoulias, don't be surprised if it's a tap and go. He comes across to his captain, Moujos. He's lost the ball. No, it's been ripped out. No, a high tackle. Well, a flood of possession, a flood of penalties here for Greece. And Ukraine, well, they're going close to someone being put away for 10 minutes here. I'll go to Leo in a moment. We'll stick with the action here. And I'll tell you what, I mentioned this last Saturday. What we need now is a tap and go. We don't need a lecture. If you want a lecture, go off to university. That's one of the differences between our game and the dark side, as I say. And we'll come to that in a moment with Leo Epifani. I'm sure his brain's cooking all of a sudden with some juices flowing in his own right. Magoulias looks to set it up. A kick in behind the line. It could go anywhere. Greece on the... Well, a desperate situation there for Ukraine. And they dodge a bullet here. It'll be 6 more coming up for Greece. From a restart, a goal line restart coming up here for Ukraine. Great pressure there from Greece.
And that all, Costo, comes from not getting that kick off on the full. So they've just, Ukraine not being able to get that ball on the full, and just given themselves about 5 minutes of pressure, which was happening.
Let's see if that takes its toll. Well, plenty of elevation with the restart. Oh, great catch. Spectacular work. Greece have got the ball. Slow play the ball. Greece on the attack. They come this left side. Bacchus. They keep it going. Greece asking some serious questions now of this Ukrainian defence, which has been backpedaling from that stuff up from the restart. A dummy from Markopoulos. Monstering defence, shuts down the scrum half, 5 metres away. Magoulias, he goes straight through. Here comes Billy, and he gets the job done. He has scored the try. No, or has he? Yes, he has. It's a try to Billy Magoulias. He said, give me the pill. In fact, no try. No try. Well, some confusion here. He did everything but score, held up. How they stopped him, I'll never know.
I know, good job getting under him. That was like a steam train coming, but the Ukrainians found a way to get under him.
Greece on the attack with their captain, Mujos. And he dies with the ball. Well, I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. They couldn't get to their kick. Nobody knew it was play number 5. And that is a massive letdown. What an anticlimax there for Greece.
Yeah, I think that I don't get that. You can forget last tackle. You just got to get with the kick there, and they built a bit of pressure, but they've let the pressure valve off now. If Ukraine get up the other end, that could have kept Ukraine down here a little bit longer, Costo.
Well, Ukraine coach Dan Beardshaw, he'll be rubbing his hands. He'll be thinking, well, we somehow got out of that because that was fast becoming a big hole, almost a ditch, and they were bogged down in that ditch. Here's Cleary turning it back on the inside. And so Ukraine into enemy territory now. Big shout out to everybody in Ukraine as we see Cleary with the up and under. A midfield bomb. Taken, well, spilt by Greece. 6 to go for Ukraine. Well, that works out tremendously well for the Ukrainians. Ukraine with a big shift out wide. There's a whistle here. And it's for offside play, I believe. Valeri Popoluk. Or actually, it might be Orest Adamic. My apologies. We only saw these teams minutes before kickoff. It's regrettable, but unfortunately, that's the world we live here when it comes to European Rugby League. We see names and squads early in the week or a few days before the game, and then it's like asking MI6 or the CIA for some secret codes, trying to get names and numbers. It's a problem for the game in this part of the world. It's a problem for Northern Hemisphere Rugby League. In fact, I was amazed to see England and Australia name teams yesterday ahead of the first Ashes test. Couldn't believe it. What a culture shock for England.
Yeah, I think naming teams is sometimes hard to Costa, especially with this level here with these teams like Ukraine only played a few days ago, so they might have had a few light injuries, didn't know what it was going to look like. We didn't know our team till very late. I tell you, it's a bit impressive that the guys are defending well with both teams on their line.
Well, that's exactly where they are, Leo. Greece on their own goal line. Ukraine pressing for try number 3. And there's a wall of blue and white, or white and blue if you like. Ukraine is repelled, at least for now. The ball is telegraphed to Cleary. Coming up from fullback is Yuri Homro. £12-6 it is to Ukraine. Owen Homro. Two boys, two brothers playing a game for their country. Last has been signalled. They're not far away here. I've been told the numbers are to the left of the players' names here, but there's no 24 in my team list. I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say that was Dimitrio Pocatilo who had the last carry. Here we go, Ukraine claiming a try. No, it's a penalty to Greece. No try. It remains a 6-point game here in Udine. Jason Costigan in the commentary box with Leo Epifania right alongside me on what's a rather cool afternoon. You can tell winter is coming in this part of the world. Winter not too far away. Fair bit of rain in the last couple of days from my travels, and those skies look ominous, but let's hope as we see Greece come up with a touch finder, let's hope the rain holds off if it does come this afternoon. Greece have got the ball here. Vicious defence here. Plenty of venom in that. My goodness.
Absolutely smashed in Costo. There were some big hits in our game as well, so I don't think anyone's shy of body contact from the Ukrainians, but also the other teams as well. Italians and Greeks, there's some good contact going on.
These young lads in front of us from Gloucester in England, I'll tell you what, that would have been an eye-opener, seeing some heavy defence here. That's run-of-the-mill stuff. If it's a shock to these lads, wait till you see the NRL. Anyway, England will know more about that on Saturday as they host the Kangaroos, as we see Greece going upfield. And a penalty against Greece in possession. Is that for a raised arm in possession? Is that what he's ruled here? I think he has ruled that. The player in possession cocking an elbow or cocking an arm up, and he's been pinged for it.
Yeah, that should not happen in rugby league. That's as a defender, I know it's probably accidental, not a common thing here so far, but geez, the elbow up.
Leo, you'd see that, I reckon, once a season at the elite level in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
Maybe once or twice, surely.
Yeah, everyone raises their bumpers up, but it's also a deadly weapon when you're trying to make a tackle. So I've been on the receiving end of one of them in the throat, and it wasn't pleasant. So hopefully there's no more.
This is back in the bad old days, I reckon.
The bad old days were worse than just an elbow up, I'll tell you now, Costo. But that's they were in the bad old days, yes.
And now we see Ukraine on the attack. They lead by a converted try here in Udine. This is Euro C Rugby League, the European Championships being played out in various countries. This tournament involving Ukraine, the team in possession, Greece, and also Italy, who play on Saturday against Greece. And almost Ukraine tempted for a double movement here. Options left and right. It's a penalty against Greece. Tell you what, we must be going close to someone being put in the sin bin here, because there's been plenty of, I would call it stalling tactics. And it's a gift 2 points here. So I reckon they should take 2 points, but nothing would surprise me in European Rugby League.
I think they should keep going, Costa. I think that they've been defending for a while. They're about to crack if they get the set right. So I'd keep going. There's still a fair bit of time to go.
That's why Leo's the coach and I'm the commentator. Here comes Ukraine, straight up Main Street. Which way will they go? Look for Cleary. He's a danger man, the number one danger man. Ukraine have cracked them. Well, they turn down 2 points and they get 4, possibly 6, and it's 16-6 with a kick to come. And on the back of that possession, on the back of another penalty against Greece, The Greeks have conceded once more. And now the lead out to double digits in Udine.
Yeah, it looks like Ukraine's getting a few some second phase play going and getting some balls away. And the defence is really tested when that happens. They're just not getting the numbers there. But I'll still say, I know there's been a try out of dummy half, but both teams are doing pretty good on their try line. It's just that at some point they're going to falter. And it goes back to what we said at the start of the game. If you're giving penalties away and you're inviting them down your end of the field, you're asking for trouble. So if I was a Ukraine coach now, I'd be making sure they get the kick-off on the full.
You read my mind, Leo. You read my mind. And we've got Scorbatch now. The 38-year-old off the tee, waved away. I love it how in European Rugby League, we have the touch judges. They like to look at each other. Again, it's one of those things in the Southern Hemisphere. We're just not used to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why they look to see what the other one's going to do, and then they do the same thing.
Well, they obviously have different hair gel, and I think they must compare notes.
Yeah, I don't get it, Costo, why they look at each other, because just put your flag up. If you think it's in, put your flag up. I
said on Saturday, Leo, I know where they get it from, and well, it's from another game, and it's one of those things in our sport, without being nitpicking, we need to clean up. We need to get better at it. That's not rugby league, and we've got a long way to go. We'll just stick with this restart here to make sure Ukraine don't stuff it up. The restart off the boot of Eddie Markopoulos. And they have stuffed it up. Was that a knock on? No, says the referee. Can you believe it? I reckon Steve Georgalis, well, he'd be doing more than smashing plates after that.
Yeah, well, it's probably not a bad call for a Greek coach on the sideline. Now some plates, Costo, when things don't go right, smash them. But because they got the win, the Greeks are getting some really good kickoffs, and they nearly stuffed it up again. But it was a knockback.
Knockback, according to Leo. I'm not convinced, but again, we don't have replays, and calling it with the naked eye, we're a long way away. Ukraine have got the ball. That's what we do know. They're up towards halfway. Referee has the arm extended. 16-6 it is. 3 tries to 1. Cleary puts boot to ball. Getting across there is the Greek fullback. In fact, the winger takes it. And nice work it was from Alex Alio, the right winger for Greece. And now they're about 30 out from their own goal line. Greece, by the way, they beat Ukraine back in 2018, and that was the game that helped get Greece into the World Cup. Their one and only World Cup appearance. They only won by 2 points. In more recent times, we've seen Ukraine winning 2 games in 2 days in Greece. So there's a bit of history between these two teams, and they tell me, for the Greek supporters, that win over Ukraine to get them on that World Cup path, as we see a great kick from Greece. Nice work at the back from the Ukrainian fullback in Yuri Homro, and he brings it back. There's a wall of white and blue jumpers to greet him, or shirts, as they say in the UK. But a bit of history between these two sides. They tell me, Leo, in Greece, Ukraine, what are they doing with the ball here? You're supposed to run north-south, not east-west. This bloke needs a compass.
Yeah, you need to stay away from that sideline, and they've done it again. This time
Unbelievable! I cannot believe what I've just seen. One player, the coach could have said, off with your head. The second one, well, the head should be at the abattoir. I don't know what to say as a coach. Well, I'll tell you what to say, Leo. That's what you call Dumb and Dumber, just like the movie.
Okay, of course, Dumb and Dumber, but it was a double act, absolutely.
A double act?
Yeah. No, that's hard work for a coach when that happens. If you escape once, you don't want to be going there the second time round. But they just got to defend this set now, the Ukrainians, and make up. The only thing you can do when you stuff up like that is make up for your mistake.
Well, I'll tell you what, it gives Greece a sniff here at the back end of the first half. It gives Greece a bit of a sniff And a big thank you to all our viewers who've joined us around the world, providing some comments about our coverage. Keep them coming, good, bad, and ugly. We don't mind the odd brick bat, but we certainly love the bouquets. But our thanks to the Italian Rugby League Federation. More possession here for Greece. Another penalty. And Leon Bacchus with the touch finder. That breeze showing no signs of abating here in Udine, but Greece find themselves trailing by 10 points. They'd dearly like to at least get another try here before half-time, given that breeze. I tell you what, it looks like it's even picked up, if anything. This is Magoulias. He's the ball player. I tell you what, he's as big as a roundabout coming into Canberra. He goes the right side. And now we see Greece on the attack, about 6 metres away. So some anxious moments here for Dan Beardshaw, the Ukrainian coach, and no doubt his players. Magoulia says, give me the pill. He goes close once more. Big Bad Billy across this open side. There has to be some gaps. Greece, they are looking menacing. It's a penalty here. He played a big advantage, and for Greece there was diddly squat, none whatsoever. And I'll tell you what, Leo, talk about a run of possession, talk about a run of penalties, and the referee's had enough. He wants to have a talk here. And this is stalling tactics from Ukraine. If you're Greece, you want this like a hole in the head.
Yeah, I think there's all the penalties have been, 2 and 3 and 4 in a row. It's definitely a flurry of penalties every time they're given. But
what about this discussion?
Yeah.
Why are we having this discussion?
Well, obviously, the referee needs to keep the game flowing, no doubt about that.
But he's not, Leo.
I agree, he's not. But I'm not the referee either, Costa. You need to, he's obviously falling for the Ukrainian tactic of holding him up, but it's worked. Referee needs to keep the ball, but you can't stop and explain every penalty, but you need to probably talk to both captains about why these penalties are being given.
Greece have got the ball after a significant delay. You at home, well, you draw your own conclusions. Here comes Greece with Magoulias, I think it is, with the offload in traffic. Oh, strong defence once more from Ukraine. Greece going forward with Bustus looking to bust them. 6 metres away. Magoulias at first receiver. A flick to the right side. Again, strong defence from Ukraine. No one is fooled. Late in the first half, Greece have got the ball. Stefanos Bustus. Now they've lost the ball. Scorbuch is away. Scorbuch for Ukraine. Keeps it going. Ukraine with the counter-attack. Crossing halfway. Oh, big change on the game. This one, massive. And Ukraine, they are unstoppable. Turning defence into attack.
This is what happens at these levels, and I think maintaining possession is a massive factor.
We just saw a great contest, a great collision involving Besnachuk and the Greek captain in Nujos. Ukraine are at the other end of the field all of a sudden. They're going to go close to scoring here, I believe. They're about 2 metres away. In fact, they're claiming a try right between the sticks, and they've got there. How did they do that? Well, they were tackling, and then marched up the field, and they've cracked the Greeks. 20 plays, 6 kick to come. Ukraine taking the upper hand, and then some here in northern Italy.
No, Bahamas si è veduto.
Questo è killer. You attack in 1 minute, and the next minute you're defending your try line and waiting on the post.
No, cenando non lo vogliono dare.
They just got to maybe. It's bad luck because if they're playing the right football, they're having attack, but It's just that one or two passes that are being pushed that don't need to be pushed, that are changing the momentum of the game. They completely change the one pass. Yeah, as I said, 1 minute you're looking to score, and the next minute you're under the post waiting for the kick a goal.
Just the way they, as I said, marched up the field, Leo. They must have soaked up a fair bit of pressure. So many penalties conceded, yet still had the energy to go up the middle and come up with points and critical points at that. This game getting away from Greece at the back end of the first half.
Yeah, well, they didn't. They marching up the field. I mean, the intercept gave him 50 metres, and then the next one gave him another 20 metres. So within a couple of tackles, they're on their try line. But Greece tried again on the try line, but again, you just don't want to be there. You know, it's not like these teams are NRL players that are trained day in and day out defensively. And when you get like obviously an NRL team at the higher levels are able to defend their errors, we're not quite. We're not there. We have defensive flaws, and the only way that you can counteract that is not to give the ball over and do less defending. So that pass, you know, they had all that pass. They might have got a little kick. They might have got a try. It might have been complete. It could be a 12-point turnaround rather than 6.
Well, what we do know is it is half time here in Udine in northern Italy. And at the break, as the two teams head into their respective huddles, Greece going into the sheds right below us. It is Ukraine leading the Greeks 4 tries to 1 at half time. It is Ukraine leading Greece 22 points to 6. We will take a break, and our coverage will continue after we have a coffee, perhaps, and a break ourselves. Stay with us. You're watching live rugby league, international rugby league from northern Italy between Ukraine and Greece. You tell me. Welcome back to our continuing live and free coverage of this Euro C clash between Greece and Ukraine. Jason Costigan is my name. Great to have you with us. Our thanks to those people who have stayed up into the early hours of what's that Thursday morning in places like Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Cairns, Townsville, Canberra, and let's not forget our friends in Auckland, the city of sails, my old stomping ground, home of the Warriors. In fact, home of Jet Cleary, of course, who won a New South Wales Cup only a few weeks ago with the Wars and went on to win that national championship final against Burleigh Bears at Homebush. Hasn't he had a big couple of weeks? Well, he's having a big couple of games here for Ukraine, not forgetting his heroics in Amsterdam last Saturday or Saturday week ago when he made his international debut, and he's wearing the number 7 shirt for Ukraine, and so far so good for Ukraine. They lead this match against the Greeks 22 points to 6. Good afternoon, everyone across the continent in Europe and our friends in the UK getting ready for the Ashes on Saturday to get underway. We are back underway here in Udine in northern Italy. And thanks for Leo for going through the camera position there. But he's a man on a mission and he's new to this business. And it's a learning curve.